Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Redefined. Here with Brittany. Brittany, why don't you introduce yourself and just tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Brittany Ionita Davis. I'm a member of the Dream Team over at ERA Newlin and Company, and here today to talk a little bit about flipping homes, the ins and outs of flipping in San Angelo.
Yeah, so I've seen some of the pictures that you sent. So first of all, let's just get started with the beginning. You know, how did you get started in all of this?
Okay. Well, I come from a very creative background.
Okay.
Both my parents are super handy. So growing up, it was, kind of a normal Saturday morning chore that we went down into my dad's workshop and cleaned up sawdust and, all those good things,
stuff.
for probably a quarter or something like that, But anyway, during that process, I was able to learn, like what tool did what and kind of really work hands, beside my dad, kind of learning how to build things from decks to cabinets to you name it. So that was super, handy and helpful, now, but, life happened, work, school, friends. And so I really kind of lost the initiative to learn any of that up until probably when I moved to San Angelo about 11 years ago and bought my first house. And then that passion kind of reignited itself and kind of started in right there. So there's many phone calls to Dad going, is this load bearing? What do you think about this over FaceTime? So I'm sure that they enjoy those Saturday mornings, and we've got a 2-hour time difference. So it's usually I was ready to go at 7 a.m. and it's 5 o'clock there. They haven't had coffee.
They haven't even had their coffee yet. And she's already ready to go. So that brings up an interesting point. Ryan kind of gave me a little fun fact about you.
Oh, okay.
You tell the people where you're from.
Okay. Born and raised in Canada, from Ontario, and then my parents moved. We've got a job transfer in '94 to the States, so spent quite a few years in Michigan, and obviously the weather up there was not my favorite, so ended up migrating south to Texas, and my parents are still up north. They're actually in Washington State.
Oh, okay.
So,
definitely. So not quite as far away, I guess, but still pretty up there.
Yeah, it's definitely still a hike. So
so this cold weather that we've been having, it must have just been like, whatever for you.
No.
No?
No, yesterday I was showing houses in like a toboggan hat.
Yes.
I'm like, this is not fun.
No, I am not a fan of that weather. Not at all.
So once you've left long enough, you definitely, it's true, your blood thins out and you don't enjoy it. I don't mind going to the snow. I just don't like cold weather coming to me. So.
Yeah, just not living in it.
Right.
Well, perfect. So speaking of flipping houses, okay, I'm sure you've encountered some doozies. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Which one?
Tell me about all of them. I want to know.
So we definitely have come across some interesting properties. So it's really my husband and I that do it as a team. And we've got a crew that works for us, and they're awesome. We've gone through a few crews, and we're on to another one right now that are super dedicated to us and have been great to work with. Not that our other ones were great too.
Yeah.
But I would say, as far as the most interesting properties, well, we bought one not too long ago, and my husband came with me. It was night. We pulled up, and they had the lights on in the house and the front door open with no curtains. So I could see, he was driving, I could see what it looked like, and I just started laughing. And
oh, no. It's bad when all you can do is just laugh, right?
Yeah, and he was like, what? I was like, oh, this one's going to be an interesting property, And so we walk in, obviously, have them show us around. Needless to say, the ceiling was on the floor.
Oh, dear.
There was a snake living in the house.
Oh, dear.
We had to climb over piles of stuff, and, I said to the lady, okay, we'll get back with you in a couple days, and, once we run our numbers, see where we're at, and, what we can afford, and we left the house, and he elbows me. He's like, we are not buying this property.
Yeah.
I go, oh, yes, we are. I'm like, this is going to be a good one. And he was like, oh, man, why do I let you get me into this?
Oh, my goodness.
So it was, that was probably one of the most interesting ones. But we bought a commercial location not too long ago. And that was another interesting one. It was kind of mazy trying to get through there. Ooh. Apparently there was a cat in there, but we could never find the cat.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was... That one's got a whole story of its own.
Oh man. Yeah, anything with like if there are cats or rodents in you know, that's not a good a good thing.
It's we left the doors on that one open for, probably about like 2 weeks at least just to air it out.
Oh.
But
wow.
Hey, it's on its way to being an awesome property. So that's how we have to look at all of them.
So what kind of it must be a mindset, a particular mindset. You go into this place and it's trashed basically. Right. How do you envision something new?
Okay.
For that.
Well, I mean, I've always been a worst house, best block person. So, I want something that has not been touched since the 70s and 80s, I think that creative wise, it's so much easier to walk into something and be able to say, well, I'm going to wipe all of this out and just start fresh. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you go into something that's been half remodeled, it's harder to actually see what it could become because you're like, oh man, I'm paying for somebody's remodel, which wouldn't have been the remodel I would have done, so really kind of the worst property is the best property for me.
Oh,
good. So normally, we just kind of go in and I look at it structurally, see, can we take this wall out? If we redesign this, like for instance, we've got one we're in the works on right now. You walked face first into a wall right when you walked in, and it was part of, 70s and 80s design, really compartmentalizing different areas. And now all we want is open concept, and so we took that wall out and then we got a little further. I'm like, that one's got to go too.
So just taking out all the walls.
So we went from, something that was going to be kind of half open to like completely open. It's going to be an awesome design once we're done. Yeah. But we joke about our house. My parents come down and assist us with the remodel on our property. And my mom's been trying to get me to get all this art, and I'm like, I don't have any walls to put it on. I'm like, we took them all out.
She busted down all the walls. So now,
so it's pretty funny, but yeah, like I said, the worst property is the best property for me. So,
well, you brought some pictures. Go ahead and if you want to get to those, we'll take a look at that. And while you're doing that, good morning, Irene Martinez. She is watching us. We want to say good morning and invite everybody who is watching. We're streaming live on our KLST page and the ERA Newlin page there. So feel free to drop us a comment, leave a question. We'll do our best to get it answered. But right now we're going to take a look at these pictures.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is actually one that we just finished up. Obviously not this picture. This was the before, but it's actually listed right now. It's 3217 Southland Boulevard. So if you go to the ERA page, you can actually see the after photos. But yeah, so usually, again, we buy a lot of properties that are just in a distressed state. Yeah. A lot of people live in homes and use them up. And, again, those are kind of our favorites to pick up and kind of bring back to life. But you'd be amazed at what people tend to leave behind. I mean, one of the ones that we're working on right now, a lady literally left an entire house of furniture. It was
kind
of up and left in the middle of the night, like food in the fridge, and
that's So that's something.
Yeah, so this is actually the one that we're working on right now. So the wall that you're kind of looking at to the right, that no longer exists. And that made a huge difference. Same with this wall with the beams and the wall with all these kitchen cabinets on it. We opened all of that up, so it's going to be a huge shell. We're gonna be able to do a cool, entertaining island and really make an awesome family home for somebody.
Yeah, so that would be really cool.
Yeah. So this is the one that we went in, and this was actually better. We cleaned this up a little bit.
This is clean. Oh, okay.
So about 5 dumpsters later, we got the majority of the stuff out. But like I said, on this one, the ceiling was on the floor. So this was the worst one that we had done. It's hard to believe that, a house can get that bad.
Man.
But it can. And now it's got a new life and a updated look, and a cute little family living in it.
So we can see the after pictures.
Yeah, so
mentioned.
This was one that we did over on Edmond, not quite done. It still needed a kitchen or a countertop in there, and apparently, according to Ryan, I'm not good at taking after photos. But and the nice thing is, we've kind of developed a good reputation with the other agents that a lot of people will ask us what we have coming up. So most of the time, things don't get listed. It's kind of somebody will know that we're in the middle of flipping something at $130,000 and have a buyer for it. So our one on Southland's one of the first ones we've actually had to list.
Wow. So I mean,
or chose to list.
So it'd be good to for everybody watching to go ahead and like contact you right now to see what you've got, because if it's not even listed, they're missing opportunities.
Definitely, and especially in those sweet price points, 120 to 160. Those are always the hardest ones to find a just good bones updated family home.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. And so you have to go in and really kind of redo the infrastructure as well.
Right.
Like the pipes and the...
Yeah. So really, I always kind of look at it as, we want to make sure, especially being in the field of real estate, we're turning over great quality products. So we probably do more than what we need to. Most of the time we'll do new windows, new heating, new roofs, you name it, kind of everything really does get touched. Some of them, obviously we've stripped down to the studs, redone all the plumbing. It kind of just depends on the situation. Every once in a while we'll get an easy one that's just some cosmetics, but normally they're
you
gut
got
job.
to do some work. Yeah, you're definitely doing some work there.
So
for that, wow.
So yeah, so those are, again, this was actually one of our first ones that we did, back last year. So, but yeah, so there's a couple that we've completed.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And like we were saying, if you want to see the after pictures on a lot of them, give them that website again.
Definitely. It's just, if you go to Dream Team Angelo, we've got all the photos there, or the ERA website. We also have a personal Facebook that's Fast Cash for Your Home. So we'll put a lot of before and after on there as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
A lot of stuff to keep up with.
Yeah, it is. That's a lot of projects. Definitely a lot of projects and a lot of intricate parts to each project.
Right.
Well, I'm just so interested in some of your horror stories, because I'm sure you have a lot. Do you have any other ones that just stick out in your mind?
Well, like I said, most of them are just such bad situations. At the end of the day, really, we tried to do whatever we can to help the homeowner out. Most of the time, the homes that we're buying, people are in a distressed situation. They don't have money for taxes. They don't have money for renovations, and so we go in, we do the best to pay as many fees as we can, so that way that person's walking away with the majority of the money that they can get, and be able to start fresh. So as far as stories, we definitely have a few. I had one client that I had a really hard time even having a conversation because he had this hilarious shirt on that I couldn't stop laughing at. It was a shirt and it had the Pink Floyd little triangle thing, and it had cats with sunglasses and laser eyes. And I'm trying to have like a really serious in-depth conversation, and I was like in the back of my head laughing, going, "This is really funny."
Yeah. Oh my goodness! So if you see another one of those shirts, go ahead and get it for Brittany so she can wear it next time.
I'm gonna have fan mail, right? I'm gonna get all these cat shirts in the mail.
Yes. Yeah. You're not gonna not have anything without cats on it from now on.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So, but as far as, my husband and I have started fully doing this about 2 years ago. Okay. So, we got married and I'd been begging him to just let me just buy a project. Most of the time we've lived through the remodels and then turned around and sold it. So, we were moving every couple years. Yeah. Which I loved. It doesn't allow you to be a hoarder, that's for sure.
No,
we got rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah. But at the same point in time, obviously that's stressful. So, I was begging for one, and he was like, "It's right before we're getting married. This is not a good idea. Like, if you can wait, then the perfect one will come up."
Now is not the time.
Right. We've got way too much going on.
Yeah.
But and that's really true. A lot of the time people are so excited to buy an investment property that they don't buy the right one. You really have to kind of think about your skill level, your time commitment. Are you doing the work? Are you hiring it out in order to be able to find a property that you're not in over your head? Because in this line of work, it gets very easy to happen. Whether unreliable contractors or, your costs went way higher than what you expected, or your timeline ran too long. All of those things are the things that are costing you money. Yeah. So, again, so our first one, it was really just kind of luck of the draw. We found it. It was a house listed on MLS, so our multiple listing service, and it had been on the market for a while, and I'm like, I'm just going to take a shot at it. Yeah. And with that being said, we put an offer, and I was shocked the lady took it because it was nowhere near what the list price was. And that truly isn't a normal thing that happens, especially in the market we are right now. We've got a very competitive market. Things are selling still very quickly. But every once in a while, you can kind of find that gem, and we ended up finding it. And it was, again, just really a cosmetic makeover. And so that one was kind of a good first step. Definitely a learning curve on that one, because again, we've lived through so much and like actually like living through a remodel. This one we decided to do on our own. We didn't hire contractors because it was all cosmetic. But at the end of the day, when we realized the amount of time that it cost, and then the second one that we bought got an actual bid from a contractor, you know, it turned out that we probably wasted more time and money than we, you know, just by the time you factored in all your personal hours and labor, and we were there till 2 a.m. and back at 5, and you know, but again, it was a learning curve that I think we needed in order to understand, yes, we want to do this, but you know, let's go at a different direction.
Yeah, definitely.
It was worth the money for the contractor on the next one, let's say that.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
So what advice, maybe people want to do this at home, or well, they, you know, they want to do this either at their home or take on a project like you did. What advice would you give them for starting out?
The biggest thing is, again, just kind of understanding the market. You know, you can easily overpay for something. Not everyone wants a whole gut job that you are down to bare bones and plumbing, you know. For somebody that's just getting started, something that just really needs a good cosmetic update. You know, again, for me, I like ones that haven't been touched, but that might not be somebody else's style, you know. So if you can really look at the market and kind of figure out what the average price per square foot is, because again, you want to make sure by the time that you've purchased, paid your contractor, paid your material, that you're still making money at the end of the day. Whether that's, you know, $5,000, that might be great for somebody, or maybe it's more than that. You know, it really kind of just depends on the individual and what they want to get out of it.
Yeah.
So. But, you know, in real estate, it's nice because I also work with other investors. So I've got some that buy strictly rentals, some that do investment properties. And it's just so cool being able to actually go into a home with somebody, walk through it, and see what their ideas are and be able to kind of contribute to that as well.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you had a commercial property. Do you buy those as well?
We bought our first one in January. So and it was actually 2 buildings next to each other. So we're in the middle of doing that. And again, everything's a learning curve in this business. You know, how much a commercial roof cost blew my mind, you know, and then on top of that, you've got, you know, industrial piping and, you know, everything that you need in order to get it to the condition that the city will give you a certificate of occupancy. So a little bit different than residential, but it's been a fun one. And we're definitely still looking for some other opportunities to purchase other commercial buildings. So.
Wow. Yeah. And so you mentioned, what are, I guess, for people who want to get in, they're like, oh, commercial is the same thing as a house, you know, but there's a lot of back end, like the permitting and stuff. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so really with commercial, the biggest thing is setting up with the city, you get a free consultation. So really, you can go online, you apply for it, you come, you sit down with the entire group of people, from the fire marshal to the parking to the bathrooms. So really every single person's there to be able to help you and give you advice. So that's a really neat experience. It can be completely overwhelming. I'm not even gonna lie. The first meeting I left, I was like, what am I doing? You know, like this might be a really bad idea, you know? But you know, with that being said, that allows you to kind of figure out in this building, you know, is the fire marshal gonna require sprinklers? Do I need handicap accessible bathrooms? How many bathrooms do I need based on the square footage? How many parking spots? So all of those things that you need in order to be educated enough to make a good decision. Again, you know, it's very easy for people to purchase something, think it's a great idea, and then sit on it or lose money. So, you know, as far as our background, my partner Kimberly Wright and myself, you know, we love to be able to, you know, if you've got an idea and you want us to walk through it with you, that's great. We'll help you set up all the meetings. We'll make sure that you're on the right track, that you're not going to be purchasing something and then regretting it later on. That buyer's remorse. You
don't want that when it comes to big projects like this. That's
for sure. So I think another part too, you know, and just anyone getting started is, you know, how do you do financing? You know, there's so many things. I love HGTV. I am 100%, you know, Chip and Joanna, I give them all the credit in the world, you know, but at the same point in time, a lot of those shows, Property Brothers, any of them, they they showcase, these people that have these astronomical budgets, and it makes it seem so easy that, you can just walk into any bank and get a loan plus an improvement loan on top of that, and you're just A-okay. And that's not really, there's a lot more steps to the process. So as far as financing, there's a lot of local lenders here in town that will do basically your improvement plus loan. So what a lot of the time what they'll do is they'll order a appraisal based on what the property is and then what the market value will be. And then that will give you a little bit of a buffer of your actual cost improvements. Everyone's got a different way of doing it. Some people obviously have the ability to pay cash. We're not those people, So we do financing on all of ours. And we'll do, again, a cost plus renovation. Again, it kind of depends on how people structure it, because we have so many out at the same time. What we'll end up doing is really just doing enough money to pay our labor, and then the rest of it we utilize Home Depot and Lowe's, McCoy's, all of those companies that offer different financing plans, so you can have 12 to 36 months without interest on your materials. So it makes more sense for us to spend material cost on those and then do our labor through the loan.
Man, it's all down to a strategy.
Well, we're trying to figure it out. Every once in a while you get a little kick and you go, oh wow, that was a new one, but surprise. But for the most part, we've done about 12 of them now. So, we've gotten a lot better. The process has been a lot smoother. Our timelines have gotten better. And, it kind of just, again, depends on the project. So,
perfect. Well, sadly, we've only got a few more minutes left.
Oh my goodness.
Already.
That's crazy.
There's so much more we want to talk about. And if y'all want to talk to Brittany about any of this, give them some contact information, how they get a hold of you.
Definitely. So my cell number is 325-340-2962. You can, again, just go to the Dream Team Angelo Facebook page, and you can direct message us on there. We'd love to help you guys if you're thinking about getting into investments, anything like that, or just have general questions. We can get you set up in the right department and try and help you get started.
So. Wonderful. So Facebook, you got your cell phone. Do y'all have a specific website?
Again, Dream Team Angelo. And you'll find us on the web.
Just Google them. Google them and you'll find them. Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much for joining us. Any last messages to the people?
No, I think we're good. I don't know.
Fabulous. I know there's so much, and I guess
stay tuned for our next projects. I don't know. I need to get better. I'm just not. I need a selfie stick or something and be able to walk people through the progress, because it's kind of amazing to see it at different stages, and we do it so much that it's kind of, we take it almost for granted. Like we forget how bad it was, or people can't imagine what it would have looked like.
Exactly.
So
well, if you want to see my goal for 2020, she's going to take a lot more photos, and if you want to see them, just go to their Facebook page. And man, I'm excited to see more pictures. I'm going to go right after this show. But remember, we are streaming live every day, 10 o'clock. It's Real Estate Redefined. So if you have questions about real estate, we're going to have a lot of different realtors on. So get them ready and send us a comment, again, on the KLST Facebook page or on the ERA Newlin page. Thank you again so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on this morning. I appreciate it.
Of course. Everybody have a great day. See ya.